Hello, and welcome to another episode of Mrs. Motormouth. I'm your host, Chipper Robinson, and once again, you find me in my bed, in my room, in my apartment in the great city of New York. Welcome back. Happy holidays. Origins of Thanksgiving aside, what a nice holiday. Um, well, to to be truthful with you, it's gotten a lot better of a holiday for moi, mostly because I live too far away that I am not morally obligated to see my extended. And don't get me wrong, I love my extended, but they're not called family for nothing. You know what I mean? So I have to say, it's slowly becoming one of my favorite holidays because I've spent it with friends the past couple of years, and I've done nothing but wear my pajamas, maybe take a nice little walk, and watch movies, especially ones that make me nostalgic. One year, we watched Spirit. Fire fucking movie. Can, hold on. Hold on. Let's talk about it. So let's all be honest. We found the female horse hot. I'll say it. I'll say it. Origins of bisexuality right there. I wanted so badly deep in my soul to be that horse. Why was she so beautiful? I'm not even I'm not even into animals. But and look, come on. Come on. Come on. Just I just don't get why they would animate her like that if I wasn't supposed to be feeling what I'm feeling. That's all I'm trying to say. And you okay, so truth be told, while we're confessing things here, I did find the beast way fucking hotter than the man. The moment I saw that man with hmm, red hair, not as long as mine, I was like, ew, he was a lot more attractive when he was the beast. And I feel like they know that at Disney. They totally know that. Because why is you always see him as the beast? Even when they made the when they're a TV show and then there was like that little interim movie. Was there a sequel? I remember there being quite a bit of media pre him being the beast or like being back to being the man. And even when he went hopefully my there's a lot going on tonight, so hopefully my mic doesn't pick it up. All I'm trying to say is they know what's up. So let's circle it back to Spirit. Obviously, I think I knew as a kid that it was pretty progressive, but like watching as an adult, it's one of those films where you're almost like they couldn't make that now. They couldn't make it now because it's that progressive. Like it would be such an issue. It would be like the talking points and all, it'd be insane. But yeah, I remember you literally are like, fuck the white people, let spirit be free with the pretty horse and that man. Anyways, great movie. I honestly am going to be trying like really hard to oh yeah, but that's why Thanksgiving's been so great. It's because I've been with friends. Now I have to say, here's my little beef, I guess. um I don't like if you are spending Thanksgiving with your friends, day of the actual holiday with your friends. Why are we calling it Friendsgiving? Friendsgiving is pre-post Thanksgiving. It is not the day. I am still celebrating Thanksgiving, okay? And my joke this year is the friend's place we're going over to. My friend is a triplet, one of three, dude. All three of them live in the city. So my joke's been like, but I'll be with somebody's family. No one laughs. If anything, they're really like thrown back and astonished by the triplet part. Like I think that gets them so hung up that they don't want to like laugh at my really silly dad joke. Anyways, day before Thanksgiving, that's when I'm filming this. I didn't even realize I was off. So I'm kind of having my own little holiday, my little staycation. I will say though, I thought I was working today, so I did have an yeah, let me tell you about my day. Early ass, early ass appointment. And by early ass, I mean 9:30. But for me in this stage of my life, that's early. Um, and I had to go down to Fighty. That is such a pain in the ass to get to. And also just like a part of the city I really detest being in. That literally financial district and Midtown, awful places to be. Outside of that, Manhattan, love her. But hate those spots. Hate when I have to be there. Or like, oh, like there's this really good restaurant near 34th Street, but it's just so like, we have to go through all of this to get there. And the restaurant's worth it, but ay ay ay. And also I just don't like going to this part of the city because like I don't know, I don't want to look like a tourist. I fucking live here. But actually none of the Statue of Liberty people were trying to sell to me. So maybe I'm now walking like walking like a local. I don't look like a tourist. Okay, badge of honor. Anyways, how to go to the fucking DMV though. So already long ass morning. It's been a long ass day. And mind you, by like normal average DMV experiences, that really wasn't that bad. It was only 30 minutes. I have to say it made me reflect on the best DMV experience I've ever had, which in Massachusetts they call it RMV. Girl, what? I don't know. But I needed kind of last minute appointment and I couldn't find anything super like as soon as I needed it, as soon as I needed the appointment to be. So I just like picked one in Western Mass and I was like, whatever, fuck it, I'll drive. Then I get like a little nice day to myself. This is like really when I was hardcore trying to be cool with spending time by myself. And I was like, I'll go drive out there, I'll have a day, I'll explore the city, whatever. Where I chose, Springfield. And I know people got their opinions on Springfield, but I'll tell y'all what, that was literally one of the best like I'm going in expecting horrors amount like out of my imaginary nation, like I'm truly expecting this to be awful because for reference and for anybody who knows, my DMV experiences have almost exclusively been through South DeKalb Mall. And again, I'm letting that hang there because I need you to know just like how miserable it was. And it's been a long time since I've been there, but I'll tell you what, I bet it was just I'm sure nothing's changed. I'm sure it's just about the same. And the like one time I went to the DMV, like when I actually got my license, because I got my license pretty late. This was also during COVID. So, oh yeah, during COVID, I signed up to like just get a license because you remember they were just like passing them out. And then like they were like, "Oh, but like we'll give you a license, but pinky promise, you're going to go learn how to drive." And I didn't know how to drive, but I still got that license. However, bummer moment. Um 6 months in, they were like, okay, we're doing the test again. And you have to do a test. And you have like, I forget how much amount of time that they gave. And I just like never did the test because I still didn't know how to drive. But I wasn't operating vehicles. I do want that known. I was not operating vehicles. And then I finally was like, oh shit, I really need to get a car and like learn how to drive. Like it's getting to that point. And so I basically learned how to in like 2 weeks. And I set this appointment. It was like the first one I could get. And it was in like buttfuck Georgia. And it was literally in a trailer. And I walked in and there was just like two booths to go up to. But honestly, actually, that experience might just have beat Springfield because fucking no one was there. It was just me and the two ladies. It was so nice and intimate. And I took the test and I got like a 98. I only got points off because I forgot to turn on my blinker when I was parallel parking. I don't forget to do that anymore. Learned that lesson. And I was so mad it wasn't 100, but whatever. Um anyways though. Oh, and for Georgia drivers, like it really is like we drive 10 over the speed limit, sometimes 15. And I was on one of those like smaller highway state roads. Is that what they call them? You know what I'm talking about. And I think the speed limit was 50, but I was on my best behavior because I'm taking the test and I was going the speed limit if not a little bit under, and cars were passing me, and the lady who was giving me the test, she was like, just speed up, just use your speed up, because honestly that is safer driving, but I was just so paranoid I would get points deducted for speeding. but baby, we're in Georgia. Speeding's the name of the game. And it's crazy though because it is the name of the game, and then I have friends who've gotten super speeder tickets. Like we drive fast. I don't know. It's just kind of how it is. But regardless, that experience in Massachusetts, that RMV, I was in such shock. However, here's the thing. So when I went into the DMV today to get my picture taken, oh, and the whole reason why I went was just to finally turn in my out of state license and get a New York one because I'm never taking that test again, so I'm never letting my license lapse. Like, this bitch doesn't expire until next year, but I also don't feel right about living somewhere and not having the license of where I live, and I do prefer to have my address updated on the chance that I lose it. And then plus, like, if I do lose it, well then now I got to go through the state of Massachusetts. It's a whole thing. So I might as well just get my New York license. So when I went to take the photo, I basically am wearing what I'm wearing now. I had just a little bit of makeup on because I didn't want to do anything too crazy. So, because I made the mistake when I got my Massachusetts license that I was wearing, my hair was dyed blue and I had blue makeup on and blue earrings and I had my hair pulled back and then the background was blue. And then the lady, there's so much pressure to smile. They tell you to smile and there's a smiling sticker. They say 1, 2, 3, smile. But I cannot smile. I can't smile because my last photo I smiled. Well, I last minute decided peer pressure to smile, so I did like a half-assed one. Not my real smile. I look weird. It's not a flattering photo. And then it's real ID. So when I go through the airport and they're scanning my shit, and then they go, "Okay, we're gonna take a photo." Take it. I don't even have time to prepare. I always get stopped. Like, they have to look at my license longer. And it takes longer. I mean, to be fair, I do look a lot different in that. But also, I'm getting flagged because one TSA agent told me it's because I'm smiling. I'm smiling in that. And I'm not smiling in these photos because they take them too quick. And I can't perfectly replicate the smile because it's not my actual smile. And for a while there, I thought I was on a list, which honestly might be. Who knows? But allegedly, it's because of the smile. And I'm so tired of running into this. So I didn't smile, but I still probably made a stupid ass face. He told me to look good. I know he's a liar. See it in 2 weeks. I'm probably going to be fucking pressed when I do. I'm so heated, I lost my voice. God, that's going to sound bad on the recording. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, so other thing that happened. So we kind of know because like Zoran ran on this that like the buses kind of suck in New York. Like, honestly, I would probably ride the buses more often cuz I'm a bus girl. I love a bus. Um However, they're just not very reliable. I think if the buses were more reliable, it'd actually be easier for me to get to my job by taking the bus than the train, regardless. Um I decided because it looked like the buses were running early to take that to get to where I needed to go because otherwise I'd have to take the J, and me trying to take the J and get to Broad Street is it's always such a mess because because the closest station to me, I don't want to tell on myself, but just for those who know, she's a maze. She's complicated. I literally got so upset one time because I was late somewhere trying to navigate that station, being so fucking confused that I read a whole Wikipedia article about the said station, hoping that that would give me any more insight on how to better navigate it. And no, it fucking didn't. But I think I finally figured it out. But I wasn't gonna let me finally figure it out today because I had an appointment at where the fucking DMV. Where do you need to be on time? Not early, not late, but right on time. The fucking DMV. So I'm not fucking this up. The buses are coming early. Perfect. I'd rather do a bus than the trains. Get lost, lose time. You know. So I'm getting up to the bus stop and I just missed, because like I said, they're running early, so it's a little unpredictable. I just missed one of the buses. Well, here comes another one. I'm like, fuck yeah, thank God. I'm running up. As far as I know, she's running. I run up. This lady's right in front of the open door. I don't know what she's doing. I don't know. I'm not her. It's not my business. Maybe there's another bus that picks up here. Maybe she's not getting on for some reason. Literally not my business, not my problem. I jump on. try to tap mine. I try to say hi to the bus driver, but I'm probably like a little like hi, like a little quiet one, so I don't know if you heard me. But this motherfucker, mind you, it's 9 a.m. This motherfucker is like, why are you gonna get on a bus? Don't you see her standing outside? What were you thinking? What do you think? Like, she's standing outside the bus. What do you think's going on here? I can't let you on. I'm not letting people on the bus. He's like berating me. That's not even like, of course, verbatim, but essentially what he said. And I'm just like staring at him crazy because, like, sir, what? Sir, what? And look, I know bus drivers put up with bullshit. I fucking know. I'm sure there's shit, annoying shit that people do every day that drives them up the walls. And for whatever reason, the human population can't get it together enough to do what we all should do while riding a bus. I'm sure it's parallel to the arguments I have about working retail and how flustered and upset I get about it, because we are evolved species, should know better to do this thing, and still we do it. So I'm sure I get it. I'm sure it's like one of those rants. I happen to be the victim, whatever. And also, I get it. His life's like, it's not an easy job. So I'm also just like, first of all, I'm not trying to talk back to you, because I'm not trying to make this situation worse. Again, I know you've had to deal with some crazy shit. So I'm not trying to escalate things. I'm not trying to be that person today. I'm not that writer. The other thing, though, is it's 9 a.m. So I wasn't really ready to get into it with anybody yet, because I'm trying not to be late and I basically just woke up. So yeah, like, I'm just again staring at him crazy. How do you end the whole conversation telling me happy Thanksgiving? Girl. And I guess again, like, it's been a minute since I've interacted with like an old school native New Yorker. Like, that's totally what this guy is. The North's not nothing if not abrasive. And it's just fact of life. Like, they may seem like angry or like real pissed off and whatever, but their blood pressure's not up. Again, it's the way of life. It's in them. It's in them to behave and act this way. Now, if somebody else in other regions of America were acting this way, they would have high blood pressure and probably a problem and an issue. I get it. It's the fucking culture. Baby, I was just living in Boston. Whatever. It's actually kind of sad maybe that I'm not interacting with more native New Yorkers who are this way. I almost forget that that's so part of the city. Cool. Cool. Whatever. But again, oh, and he was like, couldn't you tell? Couldn't you tell that, like, the sign was off and it said out of service? I said, I didn't see that. Because last I checked, when I was, is a bus was in service. And so all I'm thinking is, hell yeah, I'm going to get on this bus. I just made it. It missed the light. Fuck yeah, I'm going to make it, because I don't run. I don't run. I don't care. I don't run. So I'm doing a little half jog. Still humiliating, but feels better than running. I don't know. You see that. You don't know I have an appointment. I'm trying to miss said appointment. Whatever. I get off the bus, and the lady who was standing there was like, I can't believe he was that rude to you. So suddenly I got an ally. Now we're talking about it. She's like, why are there still people on the bus, but he's not letting us on? I don't understand. Why can't you just explain it better? Like, what's going on? And then finally, I guess he overheard her talking because he kicked everybody off. And then this one lady's like, what's going on? This is like the second bus this happened to. And then he almost got into it with her. And she was like, hey, my dad was a bus driver. I get it. I know it's not you. I'm honestly just genuinely asking. So then when we all get back on the bus, finally, it's only 3 minutes, he said that, I guess, like, I don't know what the title is, but his boss, the person who's probably like air traffic control, but it's buses, system operator, I don't know. He was telling him he omitted the fact that he was running out of schedule, which, like I said, all the buses were, and just told him to stop there. Okay. Well, I mean, I get it. Like, he was running on limited information that his boss didn't give him that he could have shared with us if he had known. But still, all he could have said to me was, this bus isn't running right now. I can't let you on. I'd be like, oh shit, my bad, and get off. I was just like staring at him crazy because I was like, what? What is happening? And when he said that stuff, I was like, I'm not going to fucking forgive you. I'm just going to ignore you. Because, like, again, that was just like, it was just a bit much. But also, whatever. Like, I probably just went on this whole tirade and you're like, girl. But genuinely, actually, real talk, I don't care. I don't care. Whatever. Again, I know he deals with crazy shit. I used to only commute by buses across cities. You see crazy shit on a bus. You think it's crazy on the subway? Ride a bus. Ride a bus. You will see crazy shit. So, actually, I will say the buses and the people who ride them seem a lot tamer than the people that were riding them in Boston. However, it's not an easy job. It's fucking tough. So, again, whatever. I don't really care that he chewed me out. Maybe I should have been paying more attention. All I was thinking was, I'm not going to stand out here and miss a bus, and the doors are open. Girl, whatever. Hey, two sides to every story, right? Okay, so I want to get into what my anxiety and annoyance today has been. Anxiety, obviously, the DMV, like that place is fucking purgatory. I believe there are areas and locations in this world that simulate what purgatory feels like, or is, I guess, or could be, and that would be the DMV, the airport, and anytime you are like waiting to get called upon, whether that's in class, sports, just the anxiety of like, I'm any moment now, or you're about to like right before getting on stage, especially if you're somebody with stage fright. I feel like those are like purgatory experiences and so anxiety inducing. Like, one of the girls sitting next to me at the DMV, she was like, could not take her eyes off the screen because I know she didn't want to miss her number. And the only way I felt like a little bit confident was they were texting me, like I was on some text update as like I had to go to each part of, get up to go take my photo and then get up to like show all my paperwork. And I mean, look, I was just anxiety and like I felt what she was feeling. I'm not even ragging on her. I totally did. I was just trying really hard to mitigate it and be normal. And not saying she's not being normal, but like I'm too fucking self-aware about what people think about me. So I didn't want to give off a presence of being too anxious. So I was trying to be a cool girl, but let me tell you, inside it was awful. Felt terrible. Hate that experience. I think the only time like I've not felt that anxious going to the DMV was the one time I went with my friend and my sister, and then it was like, okay, well, we're all three together, so someone's paying attention and someone's gonna let me know. If I miss it, they'll tell me that things just go so quickly. You don't want to hold up the line. You don't want to be that person. So it's like they call your number, get up, go, run, and that is a little, not a little, very much anxiety inducing, and it absolutely has to feel like what purgatory feels like, except I have to say, at least like the DMV, it's only a few hours, if that, hopefully less if you're lucky. Like I said, today was 30 minutes, but that was a long 30 minutes. But imagine that for infinity. Chills, awful. It has to be like, oh, right now I'm reading that new RF Kwan book. So like she's in hell, and the main character, excuse me, and just like again like kind of going roughly off of like the Greek description of hell, and I forget all the terms for all the regions, but like the gate right before all the souls get through into it, that's purgatory, and that's the fucking DMV slash the airport. The airport is kind of like that as well. I fucking hate the airport. Oh, I hate the airport. The airport's like, hey, what if some of the worst people in the world are here right now? Hey, what if? And what if none of them have social cues and know zero manners? What about that? And what if, no matter what you're doing, doesn't matter, you could just be eating food, you could be reading a book, but there's someone staring at you, judging you. Welcome to the airport, girl. Okay, so I just realized I think I'm making my camera shake this whole time. Oopsies, I don't know how that's happening. I thought it was on a sturdy surface. But anyways, my annoyance this week is I really can't stand. I'm starting to get like more creators who this is like their whole shtick on TikTok. I'm getting really tired of people trying to like profit off the whole story time. and all they do is talk about high school. All they do is tell you high school stories. I think as an adult, a high school story here and there, especially as you get to know somebody, is entertaining, especially if it's a particularly crazy story. Sure, fine. But I just feel like the older we get and the older you are, retelling high school stories, it's just kind of giving loser. I'm sorry. You don't have like interesting enough story, funny something from college, in your adult life. Like, I don't know. Like, there's particularly this one creator who, of course, obviously is problematic, but is kind of like having a moment on TikTok, and like whole thing, every story, this person was like 14. And it also gets to a point where it's like, especially as your frontal lobe develops, it gets to a point that it's like you you were a minor. You were a minor. You were a child who just started to play with adult things and didn't quite understand the gravity of it all and what the like the context or whatever. Like, it's the same thing of like maybe you felt like you were hot shit when you're talking to an older guy, and now that you're that older guy's age, you're like, why the fuck would he have ever talked to a 15-year-old? That's weird. You know what I mean? And I think the older I get, and albeit, and if you couldn't tell, I mean, I was kind of like a pretty chill kid. Like, my mom put the fear of God in me. My mom threatened to call the cops on me if I ever brought weed into the house or any type of drugs. Like, she was like, I will call the cops on you. I do not give a fuck. And her excuse was because we were in a school zone. But and one time I did something like probably the craziest thing I did all of high school, and she fucking caught me. She caught me. Cause guess what? My mom was the bad kid. And also, I think I was just like too aware of consequences, and I just like couldn't do those things, like I so badly wanted to avoid, there's my cat's tail, something bad happening, like being one of those lessons of a story that I just yeah, I just couldn't do it. So anyways, all that to say, I wasn't doing that crazy stuff. I was probably doing like mostly the normal shit you do in high school. Mainly smoked a lot of weed and snuck out and had boys over, and yeah, that's about it really. I never drove across state lines, but I would drive pretty far out. Um I'm like trespassing, but my parents knew those. And they were like pretty cool with all the trespassing I did. They were well aware. Also, but a lot of those places was like super cool to trespass. Like like no one cared. Like everybody looked the other way. Oh, and shoplifting. But like, anyways, nothing. Again, it really wasn't that crazy. Is what I'm trying to get at. And still, I don't know. I still look at back at like some of the stuff I was doing in high school, and I was like, I really was a kid. I mean, I felt like hot shit, and I was an adult, and I knew everything, but they're not kidding. I knew nothing. It's only been the past couple of years where I suddenly like, I don't know, I don't know anything. And that's existential, but whatever. Anyways, that's my annoyance for the week. I feel like I talked enough, so I'm gonna wrap it up here. Anyways, hope you had a good holiday. Good luck. Okay, bye. Love you.